Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Swami Jyotirmayananda Society, our journey to self realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings and to enjoy daily satsang. We are currently exploring the book Yoga Essays for Self Improvement, authored by Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So, today we are going to pick up a very important topic, how to overcome fear. As you know, fear grips all of us in human embodiment. Fear is a destructive and deep rooted disease of the mind. Just as lotuses wither in frost, even so the divine virtues in a person wither due to fear. Fear dampens and thwarts all that is good and auspicious in a human being. Since fear clouds the reason, saps the will, and intensifies illusion, it becomes the source of numerous evils. Anger, greed, passion, delusion, and grief are close companions of fear. Fear fills one's mind with negative thoughts, and it is born of past negative karmas. Its effects continue to generate and intensify the present negative karma if it is not checked. A fear dominated mind cannot be truly religious. Fearlessness is one of the virtues that is required on this path. People are prey to numerous forms of fear, which can be categorized into the following three main groups. Number one is adhyatmic or subjective fear. This fear proceeds from one's own body and mind, such as the fear of disease, bodily injury, death, mental distress, and the like. Second is adhibhautik or objective fear, proceeding from external objects and persons, such as the fear of inimical persons, thieves and robbers, and the fear of scorpions, snakes, other wild creatures, the fear of loss in business, public criticism, loss of friends, etc. And the third one is adhibhautik or accidental fear caused by plane, train, or car accidents, as well as widespread calamities such as floods, hurricanes, earthquakes, and the like. Fear of death is instinctive in all creatures. Whether one is a learned scholar or an illiterate person, all are equally afraid of death. However, those who are spiritually enlightened are free of fear in all its forms. So it's a progressive movement to attain that state. There are also many aberrated forms of fear or phobias that arise as the mind tends to become abnormal. Fear of touch, fear of being left alone, fear of spiders crawling around a person. These and many other imaginary evils arise as the mind becomes increasingly affected by the disastrous effects of fear. Fear affects the nervous system. It disbalances the pranic function of the body, giving rise not only to many toxic elements in the blood, but also many psychosomatic ailments. A person draws to himself whatever he is afraid of. Fear is a magnet that attracts negative circumstances. Those who are under the influence of fear cannot help but cause fear in others as well. But causing fear in any living being, whether directly or indirectly, is a definite generator of negative karma, which, as if fructifying, it turns present fearful circumstances for the person. So, you are what you think. So, if you want to enjoy a healthy mind that is not assailed by fear and its companions, you should not hurt others or strike fear in anyone's heart. This important point must be kept in view at all times. Your tendency to be fearful is directly proportional to the presence of impressions of attachment in your unconscious mind. Impressions of attachment are like fertile soil in which fear grows abundantly. So, if you want to cultivate the virtue of fearlessness, you need to reduce those impressions. Whenever you experience happiness, though it is illusory, you develop an impression in your mind along with the will to enjoy the object again and again. This is known as raga or attachment. But when you develop an insight into the fact that true happiness does not come from objects, that it proceeds from your own innermost self, you begin to cultivate the virtue of vairagya or dispassion, because in a way you get a freedom knowing that all the joy resides inside you, so you don't have to depend on external objects so much. You are essentially Atman, or the immortal self. When you attain the height of yogic movement, you will discover the truth of the self and realize that you are rooted in the non dual absolute. This is the Advaita monoistic system, one God, which cascades into multiplicity. There is nothing other than the self, which you are essentially. The scriptures say fear proceeds from duality. Wherever there is something or some person other than yourself, you have a cause of fear. But when you realize the stupendous fact that you alone exist, then there is the cessation of fear. Abhaya means fearlessness. Most gods also give you that pose, Abhaya pose. Is described as the force of the most divine qualities by Lord Krishna in the Gita. If you are free of fear, all divine qualities such as truthfulness, sincerity, humility, love of God, contentment, compassion, and others will emanate from you spontaneously. The following points are effective methods in overcoming fear. Number 1, look at the look into your face of that which causes fear. Be proud of yourself. You don't have anything to fear. So look at the face of fear itself. Do not develop the habit of running away from any problem. Look into it, and the fear will shrivel and run away. When you turn your eyes away from a dreadful situation, thinking it is to be difficult and dreadful, you invest that situation with an extraordinary power. It gets stronger. Although it's a paper tiger, it thinks it's a real tiger. You give it that identity. But when you learn to face your problems, you will realize that what seemed to frighten you was nothing but a paper tiger only. Do not rehearse a calamity. When a problem arises, you will have strength and vision to face and resolve it. But if you weaken your will by imagining the adversities you are going to encounter, even a simple situation will become difficult for you. Be practical, be prepared for what happens if an emergency occurs, but then don't fret over it. Don't be playing it again and again in your mind as if that calamity is actually happening. It may never happen, and if you are bold enough, if it does, you handle it. A parable is told in the Mahabharata. Once a great banyan tree developed intense pride. It began to brag about its strength, saying, "Even the wind god is afraid of me. He can do me no harm." This statement of the banyan tree was passed on from one tree to another until the whole forest began to gossip about the pride of the banyan tree. Finally, this gossip reached the ears of the wind god, who, being incensed, sent out a message that he was going to attack the tree the very next morning. Hearing this message from the wind god, the banyan tree became terribly frightened. It dropped most of its green leaves as well as many of its beautiful branches. It appeared desolate and miserable. Then, when the wind god visited the tree, he said with a sense of compassion, "O tree, I never intended to hurt you to the extent you have hurt yourself out of fear. I was coming only to shake you up a little so that you would not continue to intensify your pride. But you have ruined yourself by your own folly." Many people act like this foolish banyan tree. They make themselves miserable by their own destructive thoughts even before they encounter any actual adversity. Control your memory as well as imagination. Do not recall the frightening experiences of the past, thereby intensifying the impressions of fear in your unconscious. Neither should you indulge in empty imaginations about an adverse development in the future. Take recourse to satsanga, good association, that cannot be emphasized enough. Satsang is one of the gateways to the palace of liberation, and it fills you with purity and auspicious thoughts. Do not allow your mind to be influenced by the fears and abnormalities of people around you. Put on the shield of a spiritual attitude towards life and move in the world with caution and vigilance. If you allow your mind to be fed by cheap TV programs and crime movies, you will only be intensifying the impressions of fear in your unconscious mind. Satsanga refers to association with those who are spiritually advanced, sages, saints, scriptures, etc., as well as the study of inspiring works written by those who are spiritually enlightened. When you go and read their scriptures, you are doing satsanga with them. You are getting into their minds and seeking their blessings and becoming stronger as a result. With this, we conclude our satsang for today, and we will continue this in tomorrow's satsanga. Hari Om Tat Sat.